Hello, I'm Diego from the Microsoft Edge PWA team. I'll share with you today some information about the efforts that we are making in the PWA front in order to ignite the web app story. I'll start by making a quick recap of PWAs for those that are new to the concept, and then I'll proceed to go through the features that you can use to modernize your web applications. So let's jump into PWAs. Let's talk about PWAs and this search for everything. Traditionally, the web platform has been the de facto place for experiences that amass huge reach. Its open and accessible nature make it an unbeatable platform for delivering content to multiple devices and operating systems, independent of the form factor or size. Coupled with the ability to distribute content with a simple URL, which can be shared through a text message, a chat room, a hyperlink, or even encoded into a QR message, it represents the biggest software distribution platform that exists. There's no friction, there's no extra steps to your content, just instant access. No wonder the web browser has become the most used applications in our devices. We know that users spend around 60% of their time in a PC using just the web browser. And it makes sense. It provides the right balance between interoperability, discoverability, and reach. On the other hand, we have native applications. Those icons that we can double tap or click that open this snappy focus experience. Apps can be minimal. They don't really require a connection to the network. They actually thrive on being discovered on application markets and repositories and benefiting from an already standard paradigm of software acquisition, which is the application store. They also have two characteristics that even now are sometimes hard to find on the web platform. First, access to advanced hardware capabilities and proper integration with the host operating system. Imagine all the scenarios that can be developed opening advanced sensors and taking advantage of everything that native apps can do. That is precisely what PWAs promise. It's this search for everything, all the good parts of the web combined with all the good parts of native apps. And nowadays, PWAs are in a very interesting spot where you can develop applications with a fast and fluid UX that adapts to multiple devices. They can also help reduce maintenance costs by having to support only one code base. And with that code base, you can target multiple platforms. Talking about platforms, PWAs are gaining tighter platform support that enables an almost seamless and undistinguishable experience from native apps, with the added benefits of running in the web platform like security and increased privacy. In many cases, you won't be able to tell the difference between a PWA and a native application. You can now easily discover, share, and even install and have access to specific hardware capabilities of the platform you are running on. It might sound like there's a lot of changes, but let's keep in mind that even though PWA is installed to the OS, they still run in the browser's sandboxed environment. We keep working on adding functionality to PWAs, and it's something that we take very seriously at the core of Microsoft Edge. That's why we are making strides in igniting PWAs in the desktop. Picture how many of us rely on internal internet systems, or web-based solutions, or even external sites for things like expenses, accounting, project management, design software, you name it. How many productive workflows are web-first that we access daily, all through the browser? With relative ease, you can transform these experiences and existing applications into modern PWAs. With a manifest file and a service worker, you can convert websites or part of these websites into a more portable and easier to access application right from your start menu or an icon on your desktop. Microsoft Edge is investing to make PWAs a first-class type of application by focusing on the details that make an application shine on desktops. And think about it. What do you really expect from an application on a full-blown out desktop operating system? You install an application, either from the store or from the vendor's website. You now have the shortcuts to the application on your start menu, but maybe you even have a link on it. It maybe even requires connectivity to get the latest data. But you realize, oh no, your laptop has Wi-Fi off. But it still loads, and it prompts you to go online instead of just giving you a blank no connection error. You use the app, you interface with files in the file system, you share data over to another application via the native OS Share UI, and you can see it registering in the task menu and the settings. And this is kind of like where we want to take PWAs, igniting them until they reach these expected features of native applications. It's not a secret. At Microsoft Edge, we love PWAs, and we believe that they represent the very future of modern applications. They're fast, they're available cross-device, installable, easy to discover, and they have a growing support for advanced capabilities, and all this with the incredible reach of the web. Now, historically, browser vendors have invested in PWAs on mobile devices. And with Microsoft coming into the picture, there was a huge opportunity to invest on PWAs on desktops. And these investments to empower PWAs happen through several fronts. PWAs have many benefits, but these benefits must be consistent with the core ideas around the open web. We want to support developers in their PWA journey, and this journey goes beyond just Microsoft Edge. For starters, we're working within the Web Capabilities project to enhance capabilities across the Chromium engine. And at the same time, we're bringing all this back home to Microsoft Windows, where we obsess with implementing these ideas the best way that we can think of into the OS. Let's take it one step at a time and see how this that I've commented comes into play to infuse your web applications with actual superpowers. Let's look at the joint efforts to empower the web platform. I've been mentioning from the beginning this idea of reaching parity with features expected in native apps. This bridging the native app gap challenge. The reason behind this is because there are still use cases that the web platform can cover consistently, and developers want to change this. As seen from the Web DNA 2020 survey, browser compatibility and access to native APIs or hardware are among the top requests logs by developers worldwide. Also, it's noteworthy that 1 out of 5 developers also want better PWA support overall. Let's remember that Microsoft Edge is built on top of the Chromium open source engine. This automatically makes compatibility and consistency with other browsers easier, addressing already the biggest missing thing from the web. And this means that PWAs also run on a Chromium-based host, bringing the same level of compatibility to them and some benefits for running them on Windows. Some of these benefits changes allow for more capabilities to your web apps. And yes, we're talking about web capabilities, which is commonly known as Project Fugu. The Capabilities Project is a cross-company effort with the objective of making it possible for web apps to do anything iOS, Android, or desktop applications can by exposing the capabilities of these platforms to the web platform while maintaining user security, privacy, trust, and other core tenets of the web. These are just some of the Project Fugu capabilities that are available on Edge today. There is no need to learn new technology nor new frameworks. It's all being made available to web developers via web standards. As a matter of fact, all of this will work with React.js, Angular, or any other framework you currently use in your development stack. Let's quickly go through some of these capabilities. The URL protocol handler registration allows precisely that. It gives your web application the ability to open or handle a particular URL scheme. With the Web Share API, web apps can share links, text, and files to other applications installed on the device. Now, PWAs can also take part of this sharing activity and register as an incoming share target. This uses the native Windows UI. Run an OS login will allow PWAs to start once the user logs into the OS. This is the type of feature that is handy for messaging clients, for example, or any other type of application or experience that you need to be ready when the user is logging in. Shortcuts defined on the manifest file are mapped into jump lists on Windows. This is a good way of deep linking to certain tasks inside of your progressive web application. The File System Access API allows for interaction with files on a user's local device. Anything from reading, writing, saving are among the type of operations that you can now perform from a web app, which has huge implications for editors, IDEs, and many other type of creative applications. And last but not least, the badging API. It allows you to set a way of re-engagement into your application by showing a badge on the icon on the taskbar. This is an elegant and subtle way of bringing users back into the web application in really a non-disruptive way. We also work to ensure that these features are consistently available across different platforms. We aim to have support for all of these powerful capabilities everywhere. Nonetheless, as the P in PWA states, We're talking about progressively enhanced properties where the application is as powerful as can be on the platform that it is running. You've heard a little bit about how at Microsoft Edge, we've been pushing the limits to bring powerful features to PWAs. All these things that I've discussed or mentioned today can be enabled on your existing web systems and applications. That's our goal. And where it really shines is when we bring it all back home to Microsoft Windows. You see, all these features can be implemented and mapped to integrate with the operating system. In the early days of PWAs, we had Add to Home Screen. It is no longer enough to just be present on the desktop or the Start menu. Your web applications must integrate into Windows in a way that blurs the line between native and web apps. They must provide seamless UX, and this means having its settings, behavior, features, and interfaces just as the user expects them, just as they know how to use them. Luckily, there are actually some really exciting news. Microsoft Edge now supports app identity for PWAs. This means that when you install a PWA, it registers as a hosted application that works with Microsoft Edge as a host. This is relevant because it allows us to make continuous contributions to Windows to give users the best experience we can for PWAs. PWAs with app identity have a better integration with Windows. It allows for integrating it into other apps and features. You can now control app permissions right from the privacy settings. You can also have the app shortcuts in the taskbar and Start menu, and have one-click actions directly from the Start menu as well. More benefits include the possibility of handling files, participating in the native Windows Share UI. You get to appear on the taskbar. Your app has consistent native notifications and badging with the overall notifications of the operating system. And your PWA will even adapt to the theme that is currently in use in the operating system. You see how some of these features I've mentioned overlap with work being done through Project Fugu or in standards. That's because it's all part of an effort in keeping these ideas open and accessible throughout web technologies. It's when we bring these technologies back to Windows where the magic happens for PWAs running on Edge. But in order to do that, first, you need to be able to acquire and get the PWAs. And it is pretty simple. You can just install them directly from the browser by clicking on the Omnibox icon. We're constantly improving the install experience and providing the best integration possible with Microsoft Windows. Or you can just install them from the Microsoft Store. You can submit your Chromium-based PWAs to the store and leverage the same extended reach that native applications have and that they've always had in their own platform. Discoverability through the store in a platform like Microsoft Windows can boost your application's exposure and installs. By adding PWAs into the Windows Store, you can also benefit from higher engagement from a focused discovery method. And it doesn't really need to represent any additional development if your application is already working on Microsoft Edge. There are many resources available to help you create and submit PWAs to the store, so I really won't go into details here, but I do want to point you out towards pwabuilder.com. It's an open source tool that we maintain here at Microsoft to make your PWA journey easier. PWA will allow you to generate the necessary files to submit your PWA into the Microsoft Store, the Play Store on Android, and even generate packages for deployment of line of business applications via an MSIX package using Microsoft Intune, for example. And here's another useful trick. We acknowledge that there are many web properties that our users visit that might not be PWAs yet. That doesn't mean that there is no value in having them integrate into Windows as PWAs and other applications do. So now Microsoft Edge allows users to install any website they want as an application, independently of if it's a PWA or not. We believe that you'll find this very useful, and please let us know what you think. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. We are hard at work on features, support, and more surprises. Keep tuned and definitely get involved. I've mentioned the benefits of transforming your web application to a PWA. You might be interested in getting involved and trying out some of these features and might be wondering what's the best way of getting started. You can definitely get started by downloading any of the insider builds of Microsoft Edge and trying out these capabilities in Canary, Dev, or Beta. This way you can experience firsthand all the new features that are available and all the new things that we are working on for PWAs. You can also run your website or your web application through PWA Builder. You'll get insight into how easy it is to adapt your site as a PWA, and even generate the missing resources to do so. You can also browse through the components available in the feature store to add functionality to your web application. Even more, you can demo some of the new capabilities we've talked about, like Web Share API, Share Target, and the native file system right from the demo section. And once you have the PWA, you can submit it to the Microsoft Store. I mentioned at the beginning of the talk how PWAs represent the very best of both web and native. Opening app stores to PWAs is an important milestone in this search for everything. PWAs are a way that you can take your line of business application to the next level. To learn more about other benefits that Microsoft Edge has for your business, please visit the link that's displayed. We also welcome any type of feedback about the capabilities that we are building into Microsoft Edge and want to know how we can help you in your PWA journey. You can use the share feedback option to contact us and give us your comments. And finally, as I've mentioned before, you can join the Edge Insider community to test drive cutting edge features coming to PWAs and to Microsoft Edge overall. I've given you a sneak peek at some of the things we're working on, and I'm excited to continue the conversation with all of you. Feel free to drop me a message at Dekus or to my team at MSEdgeDev on Twitter. Thanks for listening, stay safe, and hope to catch you around soon.